Okay, so the first thing we're going to do to make our value lights, start with a green piece of string, and you are going to find a nice way to arrange it on your paper. You could do it straight across, but that might be a little bit boring. So think about maybe making some loops, maybe have it go diagonally. Find an arrangement that you like. When you like how your string looks on your paper, you're going to get a glue brush and some glue, and then you're just going to very gently dip, wipe it on the lip, and paint a line of glue right below your string. Once you finish painting that line of glue, you're just going to very gently slide your yarn on top of the glue. At this point, if you have some extras like this, you just carefully take your scissors and snip it off. And then make sure your name is somewhere on this paper and put it on the drying rack. And we're going to trace 5 or 6 light bulbs across our paper, even though we'll probably only end up using 3 or 4. That way, if you make a mistake or mess up a light bulb, you still got a couple extra that you can use. So now that our light bulbs are traced, it's time to color them in using some oil pastels. The way I like to do it is I'll pick my color. So I'm going to use this light blue. Then I'll just kind of trace my outline and go over that pencil line. And then I'm going to color the whole thing in. And I can use the side of my pastel to kind of get it colored in a little bit quicker. After my bulb is all colored in, you can use your finger or a Q-tip and just kind of smooth out that pastel. It's going to make it look a little bit more like glass. It's going to make it look more reflective, so it looks more like a real light bulb. Then I'm going to move on to another color. You can do all your light bulbs the same. You can all do different colors. That's up to you. Just make sure that you wipe your finger off. I'm going to kind of wipe it here in the background. So I'm going to cut this out anyway before you choose your next color. Okay, now that all our light bulbs are colored in, we're going to find a white oil pastel. And your pastel might be kind of dirty like this. If it is, what you can do on the sides of your paper that you're not using or on some scrap paper, just kind of color it a few times to clean it a bit. And what we're going to do is create the filament. It's basically just a loopy line like this that starts down here, comes up, around, back down. And your line doesn't have to look exactly like this. It may look a little bit different. Just make sure it starts at the base of your light bulb and comes back down. Now what we're going to do is take our finger after we've done these and kind of smudge it a bit and just trace over that line with your finger or a Q-tip if you'd rather. And this is going to kind of create an effect like it's glowing. And kind of spread that color out a bit. Then we're going to go back one more time. And just draw in that line again. Now it should look like it's kind of got a little glowing effect around it. And one last thing with our white pastel, and again, if it's getting dirty, just kind of clean it off on the edge of your paper. We're just going to draw a little white curved line on the top of our bulbs. And that's just going to create a little reflection. After you've got the bulbs, then you can work down here with the plastic cap part of the light. You can leave these black, you can color them in, however you want to decorate them is up to you. I'm just going to use a white pastel and trace over my pencil lines. And I'm going to add a few curved lines around. Now that my bulbs are done, I'm going to take my scissors and very carefully cut them out. One thing I like to do, instead of trying to cut them out piece by piece, it's a little bit easier if you cut one out first, free it from the paper, and then cut around. Okay, once your light bulbs are all cut out, you're going to get your paper with your green yarn, and you're just going to test out a composition. Remember, our light bulbs need to be attached to our yarn because that is going to be the string. You're just going to see which order you like. Do you have room for all of your lights? I probably am going to have to get rid of one of my lights because I made 5. Got 2 blue ones. Maybe I'll get rid of one of those. I can move them around. Decide what is a composition that I like. I think I kind of like it like this. So now what I'm going to do is carefully hold these in place, and I'm going to trace around with a pencil very lightly so I can remember where my bulbs are going to go. I'm going to put this one to the side, carefully trace around. And if you're having trouble with the tracing, you might want to ask a friend to help you hold it down. Okay, so what we're going to do now that we have these traced is use some chalk pastels. You're going to start with a white chalk pastel, and inside your pencil line, draw a really thick white line. Laying it on nice and thick. Then I'm going to pick a color that matched my light bulb. This was my pink light bulb, so I could either use this red or this kind of purplish pink. I think I'm going to go with the red. And then on top of this, I'm going to draw a red chalk line. Then, this is the fun part. To make my light bulb look like it's glowing, I'm going to take my finger and make sure you've wiped it off on something. Some scratch paper first, so you know your finger's clean. And you're just going to drag your finger out in a bunch of little lines to create a glowing effect. And then, once this is done, your light bulb's going to go right back there, and it looks like it's glowing. Again, here's how you do that. Take a white chalk pastel, draw a nice thick line, and then pick a color that's going to match your light bulb. So my next light bulb was green. I'll use this green chalk around it. Draw a smaller line. Then take your finger, and it's almost like you're creating lines from a sun. It's going to create an effect like your light bulb is glowing. Now I am all done. All I'm gonna have to do is get my glue. I'm gonna go dip, dip, wipe it on the lip. And I'm just gonna put a couple dots of glue since I know this is how big my light bulb is. Stick it down. When I press it down, I like to count to 10 so I know it's stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you want this end to be glued down, you can, or you can leave it hanging up so your artwork is actually a little bit 3D. Voila, masterpiece complete. There's only one thing left to do, and that is to take an oil pastel and sign my name on the front. Alright, amazing artists, I cannot wait to see what you create.